All right, good morning. So, welcome. Happy Wednesday. Um, just wanted to drop in right quick with the theme for the week and just give you a little background astrologically what's happening. So, gosh, you guys, we're actually sitting in the middle of what I like to call a huge portal of change. We had a new moon solar eclipse on June 5th, and then we have this full moon lunar eclipse here on June 20th, which is the solstice. It's actually kind of in between there, depending upon where you're at in the world. And then we also have a new moon solar eclipse. Again, wait a minute. We had a full moon eclipse on June 5th. We have a new moon coming up this weekend with the solstice. And then we have another full moon lunar eclipse on July 5th. There we go. Got that right. Um, which is pretty profound because we normally only have like two rounds of eclipses, meaning one solar and one lunar at a time. But right now we've got this new moon solar eclipse sandwiched between two full moon lunar eclipses, and that's big. It's like hitting the restart button on your computer 3 times in the matter of 1 month. That means there's a lot of shifting going on. And this new moon solar eclipse is pretty big. It lands on the solstice, which is wonderful. We've been in a bit of what some people may say, a tumultuous time. I don't I don't like to use that word. I hear myself use it and then I say, no, no, it's not tumultuous, it's shifting. Where structures and systems that we've relied upon our whole entire life, as long as most of us have been alive, are now being revealed as either not working or just not working. And so we're being asked to shift. I mean, I don't know if this is funny or not. It's not funny, but kind of ironic. I got this email today that said, Aunt Jemima and Quaker Oats are going to change their name and their whole brand. Like Aunt Jemima syrup was a big deal for me when I was growing up. I never realized that I was doing anything wrong. You know what I mean? So these things that are coming up that we have believed to be okay for a long time haven't been okay. And even if we think like, oh, well, I've been awake and I've been awakened and I've been enlightened and I'm woke, there are going to be tendrils that we begin to unravel in our own life and our own way of being. And as we do that, what I'm just going to ask that you do is not feel ashamed and not feel guilty and not like, oh my God, I'm a terrible person. Like, no, like we can only know what we know when we know it. And as we begin to kind of unravel these pieces of, you know, um, the way we've been functioning, be super gentle and kind with yourself so that you can continue to do the work. Because in my humble opinion, and I mean this from such a deep place, in my humble opinion, it's only just begun, this whole like massive awakening. But astrologists like myself have known that something has been coming. We couldn't have continued to sustain our planet and humanity the way we were going. So things will have to shift. They will have to break down. We have to break through our old ways of thinking. We just have to. And be kind to yourself while you're doing it. Let other people do it their way. You do it your way. Just like be in your own space with this heart completely open. And I said this yesterday. I can't remember where I was when I was saying this, but maybe it was Sunday's class. But when you start to unravel something, right, and you like pull a strand, it leaves this space that's open that had maybe been kind of closed or confused for a while. When you do that, my invitation to you is to just sit with that unraveling for a little bit. You don't have to do anything with it. You don't have to like judge it, shut it down, none of that. You can just look at it for a moment and allow it to breathe. Because as we unravel things, whether it's in our own life individually or collectively, it's going to take a lot of patience and a lot of compassion for everyone. So is that cool with everyone for our practice today? Yeah. If you're not okay, I used to ask that in class, and I never had anybody say, no, that's not okay. So if you ever want to say, no, that's not okay, you can let me know. All right, so I'm really happy to be here. Go ahead, and I didn't send a playlist today, but I'm using my playlist called Courageous Heart, and I usually start to play it like after I do some breath work with you guys. But you can play whatever you want. I'm not going to pipe music in; it just gets a little too confusing. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put on speaker view, and then I'm going to go over here, and we'll go ahead and begin. Then find a comfortable seat. And then, Anne, just let me know, since you're here, honey, just let me know if at some point you can't hear me, okay? I'll let you be my girl today if you don't mind. Just pipe in. All right, so let's go ahead and begin in a comfortable seat. Close the eyes. Take a few cleansing breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. I've been moving around in my jaw a lot lately, just like more so than normal. So if that works for you, you can do that too. And then again, one more time, inhale. And then find that slow cadence to the breath. Internal drishti spins behind the eyes and down to the heart space. So just allow, your heart to be breathed by your own awareness. And just begin to notice when you take these long, deep breaths in and out, where maybe there's a knot, right? Whether that's a physical, mental, emotional, spiritual knot. Always visualize when I think about unraveling, I think about like a ball of yarn that's been batted around by my cats for too long, right? There's like pieces strewn about the family room, and then there's this big knot, So just begin to use your breath to kind of unravel any places where you're still tightly wound. And just, be right here with the breath. I was listening to Marianne Williamson to and from my trip to Arizona. I went to see my mom last weekend, and don't worry, she's all the way out in the middle of nowhere. So we were away from everyone. And something Marianne Williamson said, she said, we cannot go into the past to kind of fix, quote unquote, the future, right? We have to just stay in the present. So we can use the past to begin to kind of unravel our beliefs or structures or whatever it is but ultimately we have to be in present moment looking at that ball of yarn that's bundled up. So whenever I put myself in this position of understanding where maybe I'm blind, maybe I have a blind spot somewhere, or I want to just summon up some courage, I call in the likes of Ganesh. He never lets me down. Remember when we ask for enlightenment or to be woke or to be awakened, that comes with a bit of work. So we call in Ganesh today. Practice. And I'll use my malas to count. We'll do 108. Om Gam Gana Patehe Namaha. Om Gam Gana Patehe Namaha. Okay. So we'll sit up nice and tall. And I'll let you know when we have about 3 left. Okay. But really just don't even worry about doing this perfectly. In fact, don't worry about doing anything perfectly. Instead, just be in the space of, acknowledging the places with a very gentle heart that maybe we've been blind, and we can begin to unravel those pieces, right? So I'll begin and you can join me when you're ready. I'll let you know when we have a few left. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. 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 Three more. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. So bringing the two hands to the heart space in Anjali Mudra. Just setting an intention for this little bit of time that we have on the mat to begin this practice of awareness and compassion as we unravel the stories of our own lives individually and as the stories of our own planet unravel collectively. Begin class with the single sound of Om. Inhale. Om. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, I love the sound of Om. Let's go ahead and begin. And again, you can start your music whenever you would like. We'll go ahead and begin in an all-four position on the mat. And I'm going to ask that you turn your fingertips backwards today. And please, please, please stay in the rhythm of your breath. So that means even when you're moving to transition to another posture, just move with the rhythm of your breath. You can close the eyes if you would like. You're going to go ahead and find an inhale when you lift the heart and an exhale as you round the spine. So you're moving through cat-cow so beautifully. Fingertips turn backwards to really begin to unravel anything going on in the spinal column. So the beauty of this practice is that we get to meet ourselves where we're at every single day. You know, and every single day is freaking different. And I think we've had a beautiful opportunity to really look at ourselves during this time. You know, keep moving, just round and flex your spine. We've had a beautiful opportunity to look at all sides of ourselves, right? And if we're not unraveling something in this time, if we're not pulling a tendril, a yarn piece, whatever, just dig a little bit deeper because there is something, and then be kind when you find it, you know? And take about 3 more rounds of breath. When you get to that next rounded spine in cat pose, go ahead and hold it. So hold that rounded spine. Pull the pelvic floor up and in, pull the navel way up toward the spine, pull the chin all the way into the chest. The head is actually heavy as the chin pulls all the way in, imprinting itself on the chest. And then inhale, lift the heart, and then exhale, find a flat back. Now, keep your hands turned backwards, okay? Curl your toes under, and then just gently begin to move up into a downward facing dog. Now, I know this is going to be uncomfortable. I know it is, okay, because the hands are backwards. It's weird. But just allow yourself to feel what this feels like to unravel that emissary line to the heart. Take 3 more breaths. So our hands and our feet are the 2 deepest receptors of the energy around us. They lead to the heart and they lead to the sacral chakra. 2 more. You have this. I know you do. And then go ahead and release. Drop the knees. Turn your hands forward for a moment and then turn your palms upside down if you can. Okay, so the top of the hands are actually on the floor. Now, if you can only do 1 hand at a time, that's absolutely fine. But just see if you can straighten your arms, right? Just do your best. Just breathe. You're not doing anything else. Notice if your feet start to lift up off the floor because all of a sudden your hands and your wrists like really hurt. Take about 5 deep breaths. Remember, this is just stuck energy. That's it. I want to look in the places today that maybe we haven't been looking. Maybe we've been avoiding, right? And then just let go of any expectation. Take 2 more breaths. You're just holding. That's it. Just try to make your arms straight. And then go ahead and release. Go ahead and bring your hands forward if you would. Just a little bit forward of the shoulders. Curl the toes, lift the tail. Take on downward facing dog. Ooh, take a big deep breath in, lift your heels up off the floor, come up high into those tippy toes, exhale, drop your heels down toward the floor. And then inhale, reach your heels up nice and high, come up high onto the toes, exhale, drop your heels. Pull your chin into your chest, round your body all the way forward into plank pose. Then go ahead and drop down to your knees, lower your chest and lower your chin. Now drop your pelvis, drop your belly, and lift your heart into Bhujangasana. Let's hold Bhujangasana for about 3 or 4 deep breaths. So just allow the heart to pull forward, press into the tops of the feet, squeeze the inner thighs, open up through the collarbones. Take a big deep breath in and lengthen through the spine. And then as you exhale, bring the face down toward the floor. Go ahead and press into the hands. Start to lift up through plank, but keep the tops of the feet on the floor. push back into downward facing dog, but I want you to keep the tops of the feet on the floor. So again, this is going to be a little bit uncomfortable on your feet. We're just kind of rewiring the messages that come up through the feet and the legs. Take 2 more breaths. Go ahead and just bring the body back forward again. Lift the heart into upward facing dog. And then as you exhale, push back into downward facing dog. Pull the chin all the way into the chest. Round the body forward into plank. Take chaturanga or knees, chest, chin as you exhale. And then inhale, lift your heart into upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale back into downward facing dog. Take a big deep breath in, lift those heels up off the floor. Exhale all your breath out through your mouth and drop your heels. Awesome. Go ahead and walk your feet forward to the very top of the mat. Take a halfway lift as you inhale, and then exhale, deep forward bend. Before we come up to standing, you can take Padangusthasana, grabbing a hold of your 2 big toes with your peace fingers, or take your hands underneath your feet for Padahastasana. Let your head drop. Take 2 more breaths. Let your head get heavy. And then release all your binds and slowly roll it through the spine. Bend your knees. Reach your arms up nice and high. And then touch the 2 hands down to the heart space, Samastiti. Inhale, reach those arms up nice and high. As you exhale, forward fold all the way to the earth. And take that halfway lift as you inhale, and fold down deep as you exhale. Walk it back into plank pose and inhale. Shift a little bit forward. You can take knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Inhale, lift your heart into upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, back down dog. Hold 3 deep breaths in, and then 3 deep breaths out. So we're going to move towards Surya Namaskar A like we do. Allow the breath to fill the bone structure of the body. Let it fill the internal organs. Inhale, walk forward to the very top of your mat. Take a halfway lift when you get there, and then fold as you exhale. Inhale, reach those arms up nice and high. Hands will come to the heart space. Samastiti. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. And then here's that halfway lift as you inhale. Fold as you exhale. Walk it back to plank pose and inhale. Take chaturanga or knees, chest, chin as you exhale. Inhale, lift your heart into up dog or cobra. Exhale, back into down dog. Hold 2 breaths in and 2 breaths out. And then inhale, bend your knees and look forward. Take a walk, step, or a float to the top of the mat. Take your halfway lift as you inhale. Fold down deep as you exhale. Inhale, reach those arms up nice and high. Hands will come to the heart space. Samastiti. Inhale, reach arms up nice and high. Exhale, take your forward fold. And take a halfway lift as you inhale. Now if you're going to jump back, walk, step, or jump back to Chaturanga Dandasana. Your heart will lift when you inhale, and then your hips will go high as you exhale. Take 1 big deep breath in, and then 1 big deep breath out. Bend those knees, look forward, walk, step, or float to the top of the mat. Take a halfway lift to inhale, fold down deep, exhale. Inhale, arms reach up nice and high. Hands come to heart. We're going to take a few more rounds like this. Inhale, reach, follow your breath, you guys. Exhale, forward fold. And take your halfway lift as you inhale. Plant your hands on the mat. You can walk, step, or jump back to Chaturanga Dandasana. Heart's going to lift as you inhale. And then exhale, your hips go nice and high. Pause for 1 breath in and 1 breath out. Bend your knees, look forward, walk, step, or float to the top of your mat. Take a halfway lift and inhale, fold down deep to exhale. Inhale, those arms reach. Hands come to heart. 2 more. Inhale up. Exhale, fold. And here's that halfway lift. Plant your hands on the mat, walk, step, jump back, Chaturanga. Heart will lift as you inhale, and then hips go high as you exhale. Make sure to pause in that 1 breath in and that 1 breath out. It's really important. Bend your knees, look forward, walk, step, or float to the top of the mat. Halfway lift to inhale, fold. Down deep, exhale. Inhale, arms up. Hands to heart. Inhale up. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Plant hands on mat, walk, step, jump back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Heart will lift to inhale, and then exhale, hips high. Pause for a breath in, and a breath out. Bend your knees, look forward, take a walk, step, or a float to the top of the mat. Halfway lift, inhale, fold as you exhale. Inhale, those arms are gonna reach. Hands come to heart space. So I'm gonna switch it up just a little bit, okay? Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. So stay with the breath. Take your halfway lift to inhale. Plant your hands on the mat. Walk, step, or jump back to Chaturanga Dandasana. Lift your heart into upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale back to down dog. Now listen, you're going to pull your chin all the way into your chest. You're going to roll your body forward into plank very slowly. Okay, stay with me. Drop down to your knees. Push back to child's pose. Listen, it's only one breath. Now, I want you to drag your fingertips along the mat, and if you don't know, just look at me. You're going to come all the way up, right? Your bottom's on your heels. Press into the floor. Inhale, lift your hips up high for just a moment. And then as you exhale, push back into downward facing dog. Okay, so let's do that again. Really fun. Roll the body forward into plank so that chin's in the chest. Drop down to the knees, push back into child's pose. Bring your fingertips back behind you, lift your hips and lift your heart. And then as you exhale, find your body in downward facing dog. Now this one you're gonna hold for a breath in and a breath out. Now I want you to look at your hands, bring your hands a little bit closer together, walk, step, or float to the top of the mat, Malasana. So I want you to come into Malasana. Good, take a big deep breath in, and then take lion's breath out. Okay, do one more lion's breath. Inhale. Now when you come up, I want you to come up into Utkatasana, chair pose. So just shimmy your 2 feet together. Good. Awesome. Samastiti, hands to heart. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold all the way to the earth. Now here's that halfway lift as you inhale. Plant your hands on the mat, walk, step, or jump back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Heart will lift when you inhale, and then exhale, your hips will go high. Pull your chin all the way into your chest, round your body forward into plank. Drop down to those knees, push back into child's pose. Slide your fingertips all the way back behind you, lift your hips and lift your heart. And then as you exhale, find downward facing dog again. Here's where we take that one breath in and one breath out. Bend your knees, look forward, walk, step, or float to Malasana. Bring the hands into the heart. Take a big deep breath in. Lion's breath out as you exhale. Inhale, Utkatasana. Bring your 2 hands into the, and then bring the 2 hands into the heart space. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Let's do another round. Exhale, forward fold. Take your halfway lift to inhale. Plant your hands on the mat, walk, step, or jump back to Chaturanga Dandasana. Make your way all the way back into downward facing dog. When you get to down dog, that chin goes into the chest. You round the body forward to plank. Drop down to the knees and find child's pose. Slide fingertips back behind you. Lift hips, lift heart. And then exhale into downward facing dog. Take one breath in. And one breath out. So this is a heart chakra Surya Namaskar. Bend your knees, look forward, walk, step, or float to Malasana. Hands at the heart space. Exhale, lion's breath. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, hands to heart. Let's do one more like that, you guys. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Take your halfway lift as you inhale. Plant your hands on the mat, walk, step, or jump back into Chaturanga Dandasana. Make your way back into downward facing dog. Your chin will go all the way into the chest, round the body forward into plank. Drop down to the knees, child's pose, exhale. Slide fingertips back behind you, lift your hips and lift your heart. And then exhale into downward facing dog. Take one big deep breath in, and then one big deep breath out. Bend those knees, look forward, walk, step, or float, malasana. Hands are at the heart space. And then exhale, lion's breath out. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. And then hands come to heart space, Samasthiti. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Stay with the breath. Exhale, fold forward. Take that halfway lift to inhale. Plant your hands on the mat, walk, step, or jump back to Chaturanga Dandasana. Make yourself all the way back into downward facing dog. Hold this downward facing dog for 3 deep breaths in and 3 deep breaths out. Feel already the momentum in the body, the unraveling of maybe the breath, the heart, the muscles, the joints. Take your right leg up high to the sky as you inhale, knee to your nose as you exhale. Right leg high to inhale, knee to right tricep and exhale. Right leg high to inhale, knee to left tricep, exhale. Open up into fallen triangle. Take a big deep breath in, lift the left fingertips up high. As you exhale, the left hand comes down to the floor, right knee bends, scorpion dog. Drop that right foot forward in between the 2 hands. Come into Virabhadrasana 1. Reach those arms up high. As you exhale, breathe out through the mouth. Drop your elbows to waist. Reach your fingertips forward. Exhale and go. Do it one more time. Inhale, reach. Exhale. Clasp those 2 hands together. Roll your heart open. Lift the heart. As you exhale, bow forward into humble warrior. It's only 1 exhale. Stay with me. Inhale, reach those arms up high. Exhale, Virabhadrasana 2, open all the way up. Use that breath, you guys. Reverse your warrior to inhale, right arm reaches. And then extend your angle as you exhale, reach up and over the head. Good. Go ahead and come up into 5 pointed stars as you inhale, so face the long side of the mat. Good. As you exhale, it's Virabhadrasana 2, back of your mat. Turn your full body. Reverse the warrior to inhale. Extend your angle, exhale, reach up and over the head, right fingertips. Now right hand comes down to the floor, left fingertips go up nice and high, simple twist. Take the hand down to the mat, step back into plank pose. Feel free to cycle through a vinyasa or hang out in downward facing dog. From this downward facing dog, pull the chin all the way to the chest. Come up high into the tippy toes, round the body forward into plank again. Drop down to the knees, push back into child's pose. Slide the fingertips back behind you, lift your hips and lift your heart. And then as you exhale, find down dog. So facing the back of the mat and downward facing dog, take a big deep breath in. Exhale all your breath out through your mouth. Right leg high to the sky, inhale, knee to your nose as you exhale. Drop that right foot forward in between the 2 hands. Drag your fingertips along the long side of the mat. Face the top of your mat. Step back into plank pose and hold. So you should be facing the top of your mat in plank pose. Now option 1, hold here and breathe. Option 2, take your right hand to your left shoulder. Put that right hand down. Put your left hand right shoulder. Right hand, left shoulder. Left to right, right to left. Try not to move the rest of your body. That's a little challenging, I know. I'm working on it too. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Downward facing dog. Take a big deep breath in. Exhale everything out through the mouth, audible exhale. Big deep breath in and then go. Big deep breath in, one single sound of Om. Bend your knees, look forward, walk, step, float, top of the mat, malasana. Big deep breath in, lion's breath out. Again, big deep breath in, lion's breath out. One more time, big deep breath in. Pause for a single breath in and a single breath out. Inhale, Utkatasana. So bring your feet to touch, reach those arms up nice and high. Clasp the two hands together, push the palms away from you. So hold there for a moment. Big deep breath in. Exhale everything out, sit a little bit deeper. And now hold here for 5 long cycles of breath. We'll take 1 round of Kapalabhati. Breathe in and begin. And if you're not sure how to do Kapalabhati, it's a breath in and then a forced exhalation out. So you're pumping the diaphragm, okay? Om 5, Om 4, Om 3, 2, 1. Huge back bend, reach the heart and the arms up nice and high. And then as you exhale, fold forward. So let's do that on the other side. Take a halfway lift to inhale. Plant your hands on the mat. Walk, step, or jump back to Chaturanga Dandasana. Make your way back into downward facing dog. Take that left leg, bring it up high to the sky as you inhale. Knee to your left tricep as you exhale. And then left leg goes high to inhale, knee to your nose as you exhale. And then left leg high to inhale, knee to your right tricep, exhale, open up into fallen triangle, right fingertips go up nice and high. And then right hand will come down to the mat. Take the left leg up and over, scorpion dog. Drop your left foot forward in between the two hands, Virabhadrasana 1, reach your arms up high. As you exhale, breathe out through the mouth and just go, ah. Reach the fingertips forward, inhale, exhale, ah. Reach those fingertips forward. Clasp your two hands together. Inhale, lift your heart up high, open up through the collarbones. Exhale, drop down into a forward bend, humble warrior. Reach those arms up nice and high as you inhale. Virabhadrasana 2 as you exhale. Reverse your warrior to inhale. And then extend your angle as you exhale. Go ahead and find that 5-pointed star face alongside of the mat. Inhale. Virabhadrasana 2 as you exhale, back of your mat. Reverse the warrior to inhale. Right arm reaches. Extend your angle as you exhale. Reach up and over the head. And then take that simple twist, left hand down, right fingertips reach up high. Take all the hands down to the mat, step back into plank. Feel free to cycle through a vinyasa, facing the back of your mat. Pull the chin all the way into the chest, high into those tippy toes, round the body forward to plank. Don't look forward to the last second. Drop down to the knees, push back, child's pose. Slide the fingertips back behind you, lift your hips and lift your heart, and then exhale, downward facing dog. Take a big deep breath in. All the breath goes out. Left leg high to the sky as you inhale, knee to your nose, exhale. Drop that left foot forward in between the two hands, drag your hands alongside of the mat, face the top of your mat. Go ahead and step on back into plank pose. Option 1, hold here, don't do anything else. Or bring left hand to right shoulder, right hand to left shoulder. Then just go side to side. Try not to move anything else in the body. And breathe. You're going to go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Downward facing dog. Big deep breath in. Audible exhalation. Big deep breath in. Big deep breath in. Try to be still now, 3 deep breaths. And take a look at your hands, walk, step, or float, Malasana. Big deep breath in. Only 1 lion's breath out. So we're going to do a little Uddiyana Bandha here. I haven't done this in a while, but I remember how good it feels. Interlace your 2 hands at the base of your skull. Okay? I want you to sit up as tall as you can. Inhale, lift your heart, lift your gaze. Now as you exhale, pull those elbows in. Breathe all your breath out. Pull your chin to your chest, close your eyes, and hold. Now, you don't have to hold on empty lungs here, but I want you to hold the biggest, roundest spine that you can. Close the eyes, chin to chest, do your best. Hold for 5, for 4, for 3, chin to chest, 2. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold forward. Make a little halfway lift as you inhale. Hold down deep to exhale. So same option with the hands. You could take Padangusthasana or Padahastasana if you'd like. Also, just grab a hold of the back of your skull with your hands. Just kind of interlace your hands at the base of your skull and hold there. And take 3 more breaths. Just let it all go. Root those feet down. Feel the energy coming up through the legs, okay? Because no matter how much we begin to unravel, we're grounded. See, we're grounded. We're still walking, standing on the planet, right? That means we have work to do. And the work begins with unraveling. Roll up through the spine. Take those arms up nice and high. And then drop the 2 hands into the heart space, Samastiti. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. So bring your 2 hands in and your body into chair pose. Sit a little bit deeper, exhale. Reach forward through the fingertips. Let the sit bones move back behind you. Take 3 breaths. Lift those toes up off the floor. Your feet are hip distance apart. Draw the belly in. Bring your 2 hands into your heart if you want a little more stability. Put a little more weight onto this right foot. Lift your left knee. Reach that left leg back behind you into Virabhadrasana 3. So I want you to feel that slow motion as if you were moving through molasses with that left leg. Take 2 more breaths. And step it all the way back into high lunge, arms reach. Interlace your 2 hands, place them at the base of the skull. Plug your 2 thumbs in right at the base of the skull. Wing the elbows out, lift your heart up nice and high. Pull that right shin forward. Draw the navel in, see how high you can lift the heart. If you want more with the arms, clasp the 2 hands together. Take steeple mudra, line up your arms with your ears. If you want more, close the eyes. So as we begin to unravel, we start to lose our footing because things are weird, and they're different, and they're confusing. 1 more big deep breath in, lift the heart. As you exhale, take Virabhadrasana 2, open all the way up. Good, now clasp those 2 hands together behind you, roll your heart open. Turn your body a little bit to the right, so it's not as deep a humble warrior as if you would be in warrior 1. Just bow inside the inner thighs. So when we start to unravel things, what happens is we begin to find new ways to root ourselves, right? When things begin to unravel and we're like, wait, but I thought that was okay. No, not so much. So what are you going to do now, right? the head drop. Take 2 more breaths. Let your head drop. Inhale, reach your arms up nice and high. Open all the way up into reverse warrior. Right arm reaches. Pause. I know your right leg's probably burning. If you need to straighten it, you can. Then just come back to it. Place that right hand at the base of your neck or right behind your heart space. Take a hold of that left or that right elbow with your left hand and sink a little bit deeper. So this is about unraveling, you know, the tightness in our body, in our mind, in our hearts, in our connection to spirit, to God, the source. And we've got to do it individually before we go out and try to judge anyone else and how they're doing what they're doing. Or how we can even collectively look at what's going on and make sense. We want a new perspective. One more. And then let's find Trikonasana. Reach all your limbs nice and long. Take the right fingertips down toward the shin, the block, or the floor. Left fingertips can go up high or left hand to the base of the skull. Roll your heart open. So when we look at a reoccurring issue, a reoccurring problem, or a reoccurring way of being, with the same eyes that we were looking at it last week, last month, last year, last life, it will continue to perpetuate in the same exact way. But when we unravel something in our own life, a thought process, a resentment, or whatever, right? We can look at things on the outside a little bit differently, yeah? 2 more breaths. Lift your toes up off the floor, don't squeeze your toes. And then inhale, come on up, reach those arms up high, turn all your toes towards the long side of your mat. And then reach the arms up nice and wide. Turn your toes out, your heels in now. Drop your bottom to a squat. Take your right elbow, reach it up underneath your left, wrap to twist. Sit a little bit deeper as you exhale. And hold. So we've got these beautiful eagle arms. Notice we're adding a lot of arm work with the legs. Why? Because I want you to unravel behind, in the front, and on the side of your heart. Hold right here, or take your fingertips down toward the right toes, and then come up through the left. So you can go down through the right and up through the left. Down through right, up through left. 2 more. Eyes open, otherwise you'll get dizzy. I don't want that for you. Or me. And then go ahead and come on back to center. Sit down. Hold for 3 deep breaths. Now, if this is ever inaccessible, you know, just hold your shoulders, okay? Because I want an unraveled space behind your heart. Now go ahead and straighten your legs. Keep your arms exactly how they are. Turn to face the back of the mat. Pivot on your back toes. Launch into a Virabhadrasana 3, facing the back of your mat. Pull those fingertips away from you. Push through the back leg. You've got 4 more breaths. Squeeze your right thigh. Take those arms out wide or straight behind you if you don't have the space. And then step all the way back into high lunge, arms reach. Bring the 2 hands into the heart space, lengthen through the crown of the head, take your twist to the left. Now, you can take your right hand to the outer edge of your left knee, left hand to lower back, or hands can come into the heart space and you can take that elbow to the outer edge of the thigh. Got about 5 or 6 deep breaths. Try not to grip your left toes. Breathe into your bones. One more. And then all your hands come down to the mat, straighten all your legs. Bring this right foot forward just a little bit so your back heel can reach the floor. We're going to pause here in Parasvatanasana, pyramid pose. Fingertips are on the floor or a block. Pull the crown of the head forward. Push the hips behind you. Okay? Inhale, look forward just a teeny bit, open up those collarbones. Now exhale, breathe all your breath out through the mouth, hollow out the belly, round the spine. So it's like Uddiyana Bandha. You can hold here if you want. For 5, for 4, for 3, 2, 1. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, do it again. Breathe all the breath out. Just go. And then hold that rounded spine. Shoulder blades down. Legs strong. 3, 2. Last one on 1. Inhale, look forward. Exhale. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, bring that right foot forward to meet your left. Should be facing the back of your mat. Hang out and forward bend. Shake your head no. Shake it yes. Release those binds you have. Take a halfway lift to inhale. Plant your hands on the mat. Walk, step, or jump back to Chaturanga Dandasana. Make your way all the way back into downward facing dog. Come up high into those tippy toes, you guys. Pull the chin all the way into the chest like you're trying to imprint your chin on your chest. Stay high in the toes. Keep the chin in the chest. Round the body forward into plank pose. Drop down to the knees. Push back into child's pose. Slide those fingertips back behind you. Lift your hips and lift your heart. And then as you exhale, find downward facing dog. Now, should be facing the back of the mat in down dog. Okay, hold here or come down onto your forearms for the next 5 breaths. You can take dolphin or dolphin plank if you want more abdominal work. For 3, for 2. On 1, if you went to dolphin, straighten your arms, find downward facing dog. Take your right leg, bring it up high to the sky. Inhale, scorpion dog as you exhale. And drop your right foot forward in between the 2 hands. Let's come right up into high lunge, arms reach. And then it's Virabhadrasana to top of your mat. Reverse the warrior, please, to inhale. Cartwheel all your hands down to the mat. Take that right leg up high, standing split leg. You're going to pause and hold in your standing split leg. Stay here for 3. Stay here for 2. And then on 1, like molasses, drop that right foot forward to meet your left, forward fold. 2 feet are hip distance. So if you ever want to know if your feet are hip distance, just make 2 fists, bring them together, put them in between your feet. There should be space, right? So there's a lot that we don't know. Remember, we're like a speck of dust in the universe. Roll up through the spine. But the really cool thing is that we're a speck of dust. Reach your arms up high. Wrap your hands at your heart. But the reality is that every single thing that we think, that we say, that we do matters. So even though we're like this little speck of dust, right? In the whole scheme of things, we are a contributor. We're not separate. Not separate from any of it. We're all of it. Big deep breath in. Out through the mouth. Big deep breath in. Big deep breath in. Alrighty, inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Pause. Bring your two hands into your heart. Put a little more weight on that left foot now. Pick up your right leg. So feel the strength in the left leg. Like molasses, reach that right leg behind you. Breathe for 3. Belly strong. Don't grit. 2. Gently on 1. It's high lunge. Arms reach. Bring your 2 hands to the base of the skull. Plug your thumbs in right at the base of the skull. Wing the elbows out. Lift your heart up high. Back leg stays strong. If you want more, something different, clasp your 2 hands. Take that steeple mudra, hug the ears with the arms, close the eyes. One more. And then release into Virabhadrasana 2. Roll your arms up nice and wide. Clasp your 2 hands together behind you. Open up through the collarbones. Turn your body to the left just a teeny tiny bit. And then pull the sternum forward. Bow forward into humble warrior. So I find that when we begin to unravel things that maybe we are now seeing in a different way, the best thing we can do is lead with compassion as we make our way. And maybe as we make our way, we begin to show others the other way, but that's not our concern. Our concern is our own way. We focus in very deeply on our inner circle, our family, our friends, our neighbors. Inhale, come on all the way back up. Reverse your warrior to inhale. Hold there for a moment. Bend at the left elbow. Grab a hold of your left elbow with your right hand. Sink a little bit deeper. So unraveling is not for the faint of heart. The spiritual awakening is not some joyful, lovely event at first onset. It's a little bit of a spiritual jolt. It's okay. It's like being awoken by a really weird alarm, right? You have that like setting, you forgot to change your alarm. It's like, right? Go ahead and release and find triangle pose. Reach your left fingertips forward, down to the shin, the right arm is up, or the hand can go to the base of the skull. So isn't that interesting, right? Like, that's a really good metaphor. I like that. That's what it feels like sometimes when we wake up from our sleep. Maybe close the eyes. Two more. It's okay. Inhale, reach those arms up nice and high. Turn to face long side of your mat. Turn your toes out, your heels in, drop your bottom, take those arms out wide like wings. So before you take this left arm underneath your right, what I want you to do is sit a little bit deeper and really open up through the back of your heart. Don't even reach through your arms, just open up the back of the heart. Then spin the left elbow up and underneath the right. So it's a little spiritual jolt when we start to awaken and unravel things, right? It's okay, just 2 things. 1, make sure you have, well, actually 3. 1, make sure you have a sense of humor, okay? 2, don't hit the snooze button. You can't go back to sleep, sorry, can't happen. If you wanna go to the left, go in that little orbit, you absolutely can. You got about 5 more breaths. And then the other thing is that, remember that everybody else's alarm system is different than yours. So you don't need to judge them on how they're doing things. It's going to be a waste of your freaking time. Let it go. Do your own thing. Do you, okay? 1 more circle around if you chose to orbit. And go ahead and come back to center. Straighten your legs. Turn to face the back of your mat. Now your right foot should be forward as you face the back of the mat. Come on up high onto your tippy toes on that back foot. Launch into Virabhadrasana 3. Reach back the toes, reach forward through the fingertips. Squeeze the thighs. More breaths. You can take your arms out wide like wings or reach them behind you depending upon the space that you have. And then step all the way back into high lunge. Arms are going to reach. Bring your two hands down into your heart space, lengthen through the crown of the head. Take that twist to the right. Breathe. So we're unraveling individually and collectively. Be kind, be strong, be loving. I see a lot of things that say, keep your foot on the gas. Like, okay, and you better rest too. This is like a marathon. This isn't a sprint. Go ahead and release. Bring both hands down to the floor. Straighten both your legs. Bring your left foot forward if you would, just a little bit. Parasvatanasana. Hands could be on the block or the floor. I'm going to inhale and look forward. Pull those two shoulder blades down. And then as you exhale, breathe out through the mouth and round the spine. Hold that rounded spine. If you have Uddiyana Bandha in your practice, you can take it during this time. Inhale, look forward. Open the collarbones. Exhale, do it again. Inhale, look. Last time, exhale. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, release. Bring that left foot forward to meet the right. Back of your mat, forward fold. Shake your head no. Shake your head yes. Halfway lift, inhale, you guys. Walk, step, or jump back to Chaturanga Dandasana. Make your way all the way back into Downward Facing Dog. Now you've got 1 minute here. Downward Facing Dog, Dolphin, Child's Pose, or you could find an upside down of choice. So you have 1 minute. You get to do what you want, what you need. I want you to practice with your own breath, your own intention. Please be mindful of your surroundings. Be mindful of your limitations. Be mindful of your reasoning and motivation behind your choice. Got about 5 or 6 more breaths. Last 2. Those of you who want to stay upside down, if that's what you chose, please stay upside down. Be mindful. Drop down to the knees, push back to Child's Pose when you're ready, and then draw the fingertips back behind you, but I want you to just sit on your heels for a moment. We're going to move into a full Ustrasana. Okay, so you're going to lift your bottom up and off your heels. You're going to take your 2 hands to your lower back. You're going to press into the floor with the shins. Fingertips can be up or down. Inhale, lift your heart up nice and high. And then go ahead and begin to find Ustrasana. If you can reach for your heels, either with your toes up or down, feel free to do that. If that's not necessary. What is necessary is to breathe and find the steadiest, most comfortable pose that you can. Take about 3 or 4 breaths here. Really open up through the collarbones, pull the pelvic floor up and in. 1 more. And then as you exhale, go ahead and release. Have a seat on the heels. Close the eyes, hands in the lap. Take a big deep breath in. Audible exhalation. Big deep breath in. Lion's breath out to exhale. Big deep breath in. 1 single sound of Om. Find your way back into downward facing dog. Left leg high to the sky. Inhale, scorpion dog as you exhale so that knee bends. Drop the left foot forward in between the two hands. Go ahead and drag your fingertips along the long side of the mat. Take that left leg up high to the sky as you inhale. Facing the top of the mat, you're at standing split leg. Right foot down, left toes up. Pause and hold. On 5, on 4, 3, 2, and then 1. Go ahead and release into a forward fold. Let your head drop down toward the floor. Like, see if you can almost feel the energy of the crown of the head finding the earth. Shake your head no. Shake your head yes. Whew. Shake it maybe. And then roll up through your spine. Let your arms get really, really heavy. And then reach those arms up nice and high. Oh, take the two hands into the heart space and then pause for a moment. So an unraveling. Some of you may have already, at one point in your life, unraveled something in your life. Maybe you've unraveled your whole entire life at one point. I know I have before, and it's really freaking uncomfortable. If you haven't, it's okay. What you're witnessing is the world unraveling. You don't need to be afraid. Everything's going to work out just perfectly. We have to allow ourselves to see these places where we're tangled so that we can unravel them and open them up. Make sure your feet are hip distance apart, please. Root your right foot down toward the earth. Bend that left knee, bring it up to hip height. Keep your right hand at your heart, reach behind you, grab a hold of your inner part of your left ankle or your foot. Reach your right arm forward, take dancer pose. Reach the right fingertips forward, allow that left foot to push into the left hand. Keep opening up through the collarbones. Keep your gaze smooth, your breath nice and calm. You have 2 more breaths. Keep pushing that foot away from you, reaching the fingertips forward, open the hand. 1 more breath. Bring the hand into the heart first. Take that left ankle, cross it over the right thigh. Flex all the toes you have. Point your left toes down. Start to sit back and down into pigeon. So a standing balanced pigeon. Lengthen through the crown of the head. Lift your right toes up off the floor. If you want a little bit more, you can take your twist to the right. Left hand can go to the arch of the foot. Right hand can go to the lower back. You don't have to, not necessary. And 5, 4, 3, 2. And then on 1, release by dropping that left foot down over the right and take your forward bend. So you're forward folding with your left foot over your right. Talk about unravel. Feel into the lower back. Please make sure all 4 corners of both of your feet are pressing into the floor. Lift the arches of the feet. If you want more, you're going to twist over to the right. I lie, you're going to twist to the left. It's so interesting, you know, for 16 years I've taught in a classroom, 17 years, and in that classroom, I've always faced my class, so I've always cued opposite. My whole life, I've always cued opposite. It's a very strange thing to be able to cue the exact foot that I'm actually wanting you to balance on. Go ahead and come back to center, unravel your 2 feet. Bring your feet to hip distance apart. Take a little halfway lift. Inhale, exhale, deep forward bend. Bend those knees and then roll up through the spine. Take those arms up nice and high and then drop the 2 hands into the heart space. Samastiti. Take a pause in and a pause out. Root your left foot down in toward the floor. Go ahead and bend your right knee. Bring your left hand just to your heart. Reach around behind you. Grab a hold of your inner ankle on the right side. Inhale, look forward. Begin to move forward into dancer pose, Nantaraj. Allow your body and your breath to be as calm and still as possible. Keep pointing the toes up toward the ceiling. So unraveling even the way I share this practice. So interesting. From something as simple as cueing to how I share it through a digital media. One more big deep breath. Lift that heart. Go ahead and release. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh. Point your right toes down. And start to sit back and down. Again, hands can be at the heart, or you can go ahead and take that twist over to the left side. Everything is changing. According to astrology too, like we're moving into pretty knee deep into the Aquarian age. Aquarius is air, by the way. So we've gone from a very watery existence to a very airy existence. Aquarians are about humanitarianism, altruistic viewpoints, things like that. Go ahead and release. Drop that right foot down over the left. Forward fold. And then when you do want more, you can go ahead and twist to the right. And then I do mean to the right this time. But I mean, I really mean it when I say we have to move with a sense of humor, with a sense of grace. You know, looking at Quaker Oats news today, like Aunt Jemima, like I loved that syrup when I was a kid. I just loved it. And, you know, I never knew I was maybe hurting someone. I had no idea. Just a kid, I like sugary syrup. Come back through center. Unravel your 2 feet, bring them to as wide as the mat, turn your toes out, your heels in, drop down into Malasana. This is why we cannot hold a sense of guilt or shame. We can only know what we know when we know it as we begin to unravel the ways of being. We just go, okay, my goodness, I'm so sorry. Let's just move forward, shall we? Now listen, we're going to come to a seat here. So I want you to be really, really mindful as you come to a seat. Please be mindful. All right, you're going to go ahead and come down to a seat and then come into boat pose, Navasana. Now, boat pose is not this, where we're kind of dropping in. Drop the sit bones down, the front of them, and then lift those legs up. Now, you can keep your knees bent. You can hold on to the outer edges of your knees. You could straighten the legs if you want, and you can let go of them, but don't compromise it by leaning into your lower back. Keep drawing the belly button in. Flex your toes towards your face. You're going to hold for 5. If you want something different, you can grab a hold of your 2 big toes. You can straighten the legs, bend the elbows for 4. For 3, 2. Keep lifting the heart, please. And then 1, go ahead and release. Bring the soles of the feet together. Inhale, lift your heart, knees point out to the side. As you exhale, fold in. So find Baddha Konasana. So funny, like 3 months ago, this never hurt my hips, ever. Ever. I was like Gumby, able to fold forward. Now it takes about 6 deep breaths to get there. I've been sitting more than I've sat in my 18, 25 years of working. What have you been doing over the last 4 months that's been different for you? And what habits do you want to kind of claim back? And what habits do you want to let go of, right? I'm letting go of the sitting. So I'm just going to declare that right now. I'm letting go of some control. What about you guys? Perceived control. I would love to hear that from you guys. So maybe think about it. Get back to me. What have you unraveled during this time? And what do you want to just kind of leave in the old paradigm, you know? Go ahead and release, come on up to a seat, bring those 2 knees together, slowly roll all the way down onto your back. So go as slow as you possibly can. When you get to your back, take your legs up nice and high. Okay, so we're going to do some super gentle ab work. And by that, I mean don't go crazy, okay? Just super gentle, like you're going through a stroll down the boardwalk with your beach cruiser, right? So just like gently, either elbow to knee or hand to toes. Gentle, don't go crazy, just breathe. You can go for like 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then 1. Bring those 2 feet to the floor. Bring your hands to your heels. Lift up right away into bridge pose. If you can clasp your 2 hands together, fantastic. If not, fantastic. Keep your gaze straight up. Pull up pelvic floor, draw the belly in. You've got about 5 deep breaths. So we breathe through the feet. We pull the shins forward. We pull up the pelvic floor to lock that earth energy in. We draw the navel in, and then we open up the heart. That's just what we do. On 5, on 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and release. Go ahead and find happy baby pose. Grab a hold of your 2 big toes. Press your knees down toward the floor. Press your heels up to the sky. Two more breaths. And go ahead and release. Pick those legs up nice and tall again, or bend your knees. We're going to take one more round of a little stroll. So you just choose. It's just like, maybe 30 seconds or so. Just go slow. Just create a little bit of a fire in the abdominals. Just a little. Just enough to kind of get you going, right? Fantastic. Stay with me for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, and then 1. Go ahead and release. Hug those 2 knees into the chest, and then drop your feet to the floor. Now you can take bridge pose, or you can take wheel. So those of you who have the flexibility in the shoulders, put the hands back behind you, point your elbows up to the sky, come out up into wheel. Otherwise, go back up into bridge pose, lift the heart space. Last little bit, you guys. If you're in bridge, please don't look around. Keep looking straight up toward the ceiling. 1, 5, 1, 4, 1, 3, 2, and then 1. Go ahead and release. Hug your 2 knees into your chest, nice and tight. Nice and tight. Beautiful. Nice. Take your legs up high and then take them out nice and wide. Press your right knee over your left. Reach up, grab a hold of those feet, and like really truly make that grab. Make it nice and strong. If you can wrap your feet like you do in eagle pose, do that. If you can't, don't worry about it, but just keep that tight grip, right? Put your left foot on the floor, lengthen, lay on your left hip bone, and then take that twist over to the left. So just twist your legs as deep as you can, basically. Put your 2 shoulder blades on the floor, look straight up toward the sky. If you want more openness in the spine, take your gaze over to the right. Three more. And then come back through center. Unravel your legs, shake them out. Shake them out, maybe even shake out your arms a little bit. Always feels good. And then take legs out wide. And then left knee over right. Nice, really open. You just squish the legs together as deep as you can. If you can take that wrap like you do in eagle pose, do that. If you can't, it's okay. Put your right foot on the floor, lay on that right hip bone, take your twist to the right. Two shoulder blades on the floor. Look straight up toward the sky for a moment. Whew. Begin to unravel whatever's behind you, behind the heart, your lower back. Maybe your gaze goes to the left. We've got 4 more breaths. And then back to center. Hug two knees into chest one last time. And then find your way into Shavasana. So lengthen the legs. Bring your 2 hands to your belly, or you can take one hand to the heart, one hand to the belly. Breathe into all the bones. Breathe into the marrow of your bones. Breathe into the nerves. Breathe into your internal organs. Breathe into the blood cells. Breathe into the muscles. Breathe into every single cell in your body. Notice where you're still tightly wound into an idea or some sort of thought process. And then just be open to other ones showing up. You know, I've noticed quite a bit for the last couple of weeks. Don't be quick to blame or push or avert or avoid. Instead, just sit, use this breath. Let everything begin to unravel on its own. And just be open to what is revealed in that unraveling. Be open to what is being revealed. Just be here for a moment. I'll bring you back, don't worry. Be willing to notice the unraveling. Be willing to sit in it. No one said it was going to be comfortable. About 3 more breaths. As always, you can stay here in Shavasana as long as you would like. you to move out. Begin to move around in the fingertips, the toes, and the jaw. Take your arms over your head and get long in the body. Hug your knees to your chest, roll to right or left. When you're ready, you can bring yourself up to a seat, hands to the heart space in Anjali Mudra. So I want to end class with our chant to Ganesh. I really can't get enough of him lately. So most of you have been coming to my class, you know this chant. If you don't, you can listen. We're going to do a couple rounds of Om, Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. Sharanam Ganesha, Sharanam Ganesha. Just really trying to acknowledge these places within ourselves that we're still in obstacles. Just being okay. It's okay. That's why it's a practice, you know? So I'll begin. You can chant with me. You can listen as well. Om Hare Om Hare Om Hare Om Om Hare Om Hare Om Hare Om Sharanam Ganesha 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 Om Hare Om Hare Om Hare Om Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasma Shri Guru De Namaha. Bowing deeply at the feet of these teachings as they show up in my life, in my heart, in my world. May I remember with deep reverence that everything is for a practice and for a deeper connection to heart and soul. Thank you so much for showing up today. How such a beautiful day. Namaste. Thank you so much, you guys, for being here. Such a beautiful practice. So good to see you. I hope you're all doing well.